How many times have you been to jail? I had 14 arrests.
Yeah, I think that's like 14.
What was the worst jail experience?
Vitali confessed to his crimes live in front of his lawyer.
So he will not be deported. He will stand trial here. He will face the charges here, and hopefully he will be jailed here.
He's Russian. What if the Russian government asks to, let Vitali face the charges instead in their jurisdiction?
He broke our laws.
Okay.
He broke our laws. He broke Philippine laws here in our country. So he has to stand trial.
Guys, we got some big updates on Vitali, and it's not looking good at all. As you might already know, Vitali has confessed everything in front of his lawyers.
Vitali confessed to his crimes live in front of his lawyer. He's already confessed. He's in trouble.
A lot of people are acting like this is a huge deal, but let's be real. Confessing in front of your lawyer doesn't really mean much. Vitali live streamed everything. It's all on camera. So even if he denies anything later, it wouldn't make a difference. The evidence is literally public. Now here's the big part. What the Philippines is planning for Vitali is going to scare every so-called nuisance streamer in the world. If anyone even thinks of visiting the Philippines and doing just 10% of what Vitali did, they're in for a rude awakening. Vitali thought the worst case scenario would be getting deported, or maybe a couple of hours in jail, 3 or 4 days max. You might be wondering, how do you know that? Well, I didn't until I found this podcast from 3 months ago where Vitali literally talked about his past arrests and what he thought would happen. But guess what? Just 3 months later, he's facing the biggest punishment of his life. Now let's roll the clip where Vitali talks about his arrest experience.
How many times have you been to jail? I had 14 arrests.
Yeah, I think that's like 14.
What was the worst jail experience?
Yeah, because I'm not scared to go to jail, but as soon as I got to jail, the day I climbed the pyramids, they're like, you're getting out in the next hour. So imagine somebody telling you you're getting out in the next hour and you're waiting by the door to get out for 4 days. So
and they just kept saying
next hour, yeah. And it's like, they're so behind computer and technology, like they have to do paperwork. I mean, that story was crazy. They would transfer me from prison in one prison bus to another jail that's in the desert, like 3 hours away. Then like, no, you're not here. Then go back. And then while we're in the prison bus, there's this like little square window and everyone's just smoking cigarettes, coughing for their life. And everyone speaks Arabic. And I'm just like, look, I was like, I can write a No, it was the fact that I don't know how long it was. I cried every day that
Vitali, I know when you see this video, it might be 2 to 3 years into your sentence, but let me remind you of something. You cried after spending just 4 days in an Egyptian jail. So how the hell are you going to survive 8 to 10 years in a Filipino prison? It's not just bad, bro. It's worse than the word worse. Also, can we talk about something kind of off topic? Is Vitali gay or what? Because during that whole interview, if you look closely at his expressions and the way he talks, it just got me confused. Like seriously. Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, before I end this podcast, let me quickly tell you why he was arrested in the first place. He climbed the Pyramid of Egypt, and then the interviewer asked him what else he wanted to climb. You won't believe what he said.
What else would you want to climb?
Your D.
Yo, shout for season, man. Shout for season, man. Yo, I'm trying to
My D instead of the Hollywood D.
Wait, what? His D? Like, bro, I don't know what anyone else thinks, but I'm pretty sure I know what he's into now. And honestly, he might just end up living his best life in jail, if you know what I mean. Drop a comment. I'll be reading. Now, big news is coming from multiple news channels claiming that Vitali could face up to 24 years in prison. Yeah, you heard that right. 24 years. If that actually happens, it's going to send a clear message to the whole world. No one's ever going to dare pull these nuisance stunts again, anywhere.
Remember the man who stormed the pitch at the 2014 World Cup final, Vitaly'S the Russian prankster with natural-born prankster on his chest. He is now facing up to 24 years in prison in the Philippines. Arrested on the 2nd of April during a live stream in Bonifacio, Global City. He is accused of harassing security guards, attempting to grab a firearm, and vlogging without a permit. Known for stunts at the NBA Finals and World Series, he's never served serious jail term.
Now let's talk about the official statement from government officials who were directly involved in Vitali's case. I watched the entire report, and honestly, I found out some shocking things about the Philippines. These guys are not letting Vitali off the hook easily. They've done their homework. They studied his entire past, including all the countries where he's been arrested before, and how he always managed to get deported within a few days. Remember that podcast I showed you earlier? Yeah, they've watched that too. They analyzed how much time he spent in those jails, what kind of stunts he pulled, and they've already prepared detailed reports based on all of that. But here's the catch. Unlike all those other countries that just deported him and washed their hands clean, the Philippines is doing the exact opposite. They're fully determined to make him face trial, get punished, and actually serve time inside the country. Only after that he might get deported, but not before he faces the consequences for real.
You know, this guy has been around. He's been doing this since 2012 all over the world. He's been in the States, he's been to Brazil, Egypt, the UK, doing this sort of thing. Now, Secretary John Vic has said he violated our laws and he disrespected Filipinos. You know, Filipinos we are friendly people, we are hospitable people. But this guy took advantage of us. And ang malas niya, you know, if other countries merely deported him, ang malas niya ngayon, you know, his tough luck is that we have Secretary Remulla saying now that we're not going to let him off easy. So he will not be deported. He will stand trial here. He will face the charges here. And hopefully he will be jailed here.
So where is Vitali right now, Yusek?
Vitali is currently detained at the Bureau of Immigration's detention center in Camp Bagong Diwa.
Okay.
And he will await trial there.
And what charges specifically will be filed against?
There are several charges that he's already facing. There are several counts of unjust vexation. There's theft, attempted robbery, even I think is one of the cases that he's facing. You know, in the inquest that was conducted.
But honestly, the most shocking and almost unbelievable part of the entire interview for me was this one moment. The host asked a very intense question to the undersecretary. If Russia tries to intervene in Vitaly's case, how will the Philippines respond? And the response from this high-level government official was crystal clear. He said there is no Russian interference here. Vitali broke the law in the Philippines, and it's the Philippines that will deal with him. That's when it hit me. This whole situation is no longer just a simple legal case. It has crossed into political and international territory. What started as a prank or a stunt is now something way bigger, with global implications.
Just to make sure that this is being done lawfully and
Sure.
with due process. He's Russian. What if the Russian government asks to, let Vitali face the charges instead in their jurisdiction?
He broke our laws.
Okay.
He broke our laws. He broke Philippine laws here in our country. So he has to stand trial here.
Meanwhile, even Legal Mindset have shared thoughts on this issue. From his insights, we just got a fresh update. Vitaly'S Dorovetzky has now officially admitted to his crimes. That means the only thing left now is the trial. And once that's over, jail time for Vitali is almost guaranteed. This whole thing is honestly shocking. People used to say that so-called nuisance streamers always slip through the cracks of the law, but here the Philippines ignored everything else and pushed hard until Vitali admitted his guilt under legal pressure.
Vitali confessed to his crimes live in front of his lawyer. He's already confessed. He's in trouble. I think the legal term for his situation is cooked. It's what the kids use nowadays in the courtroom. They use cooked. They say, Judge, his defense is not going to look good here. His lawyer, it doesn't have much options.
Legal Mindset also connecting another point here, that both Johnny Somali and Vitali are now in the exact same position. Both of them are standing at the edge of prison time. For them, going to jail is no longer just a possibility. It's inevitable. It's now a matter of when, not if. They have no escape this time. Punishment is guaranteed.
This is how Johnny Somali and Vitali are the same. Both of them are unapologetic, completely unapologetic. They do not at all recognize the problems with what they did. And this is the insane part. Them and their followers, right, are doubling and tripling down that not only did they do nothing wrong, but they want to come back and do more of it, and that they're not going to stop. They're going to keep doing this behavior. So the only way to stop this, when they've promised to keep doing it, is to show them that there's consequences for these actions.
So it's obvious that whatever happens to Vitali, if there's no bribe involved and no political agenda behind it, then it's safe to say that this time there's no escape for Vitali like there was in other countries. And guys, throughout this whole video, I never asked for a like or subscribe, but if you do, it would support this channel in a huge way. Please consider subscribing and liking this video. Thanks for watching.